This is the KG722 65% mechanical keyboard from Deepcool. For full transparency, this video is sponsored by Deepcool, however, all thoughts and opinions are my own as usual. And even the Deepcool team will be seeing this video for the first time when it goes live. So a huge thank you to Deepcool for sponsoring this video and letting me share my honest opinions. Oh, and before I forget, I will be giving away the final product on Instagram after tuning it, so make sure to head over to my page for more details on how to win this board. Alright, let's unbox this $80 board and check out what's inside. First thing you'll notice here is the fact that this is not a DIY kit, but rather a completely pre-built unit. That being said, the PCB is not hot swappable, so make sure you pick the right switch you want if you decide to pick one up. To highlight a few of its attributes, the PCB uses a detachable USB Type-C port and has customizable RGB, but you do have to use the proprietary software, as far as I know, and it's housed within a single-piece plastic case that does not have any adjustable feet, which translates to offering a more of a flatter typing angle. In terms of keycaps, these are laser-etched ABS keycaps with printed legends that also shines through. Moving on to the accessories, the box includes a solid straight braided cable as well as a keycap puller. And if you want to read up on more of the detailed specs, I'll leave a link to the product page in the description. The unit in this video has Gatoron red switches with plate mount stabilizers pre-installed and slightly pre-lubed. And as the switches are soldered, it's a bit hard to mod these plate mount stabs, so you might want to try using a syringe rather than a traditional brush if you're wanting to tune the stabilizers without desoldering. Before we start modding, here is how it sounds out of the box. Definitely not bad for a stock unit, but I do think there's some room for improvement. Since newcomers to the hobby, starting by modifying pre-built keyboards often don't have a soldering setup, I wanted to show some mods that you can do without a soldering iron. In order to start modifying this board, first we are going to have to take it apart. This board has a tray mount design, so you can easily disassemble it by undoing the mounting screws, which are visible once you remove the keycaps. The first mod I applied was the Tempest tape mod. This tried and true method only requires some painter's tape. I like to usually apply 2 to 3 layers in a horizontal manner first, then apply 2 long diagonal pieces in an X pattern. With the tape mod done, next step for me was to reduce the hollowness coming from the empty space in the case cavity. I typically would have considered cutting some shelf liner for the bottom case, but how the plastic case was divided into multiple little irregular sections made it super hard to cut a nice single shelf liner piece. So instead, I borrowed a plate from my Canon Keys Rect 1800 and used some polyfill instead. I do apologize for the inconsistent lighting here, as we were hit with a snowstorm with fast winds, causing the constant change in the amount of ambient light. Moving on to the stabilizers, which is the most important modification in my opinion, especially in pre-built boards. As I mentioned earlier, it is tough to mod stabilizers without desoldering the switch, so I took some dielectric grease in a syringe, then injected it into the areas in the stem where the wire sits. The supply needed for the next mod might not be as accessible, but this is something I have been doing with leftover cutouts from the KBD Fans modular plate foam. I cut small bars from the leftover pieces and stick them inside the spacebar upside down. I find this helps reduce the hollow sounding chattering noise, especially for thinner ABS keycaps. And that's it. Let's put the keycaps back on and see if I improve the board. Thanks for watching all the way through, and please don't forget to check out the giveaway I'll be hosting on my Instagram shortly after this video is published.